Hello, everyone. Today, I want to talk a bit about email marketing and how it's changing, especially with AI. Obviously, it will be about more revenue, more clicks, higher CTRs. But I don't just want to talk about more revenue. I think one thing that is always overlooked in this AI revolution is basically achieving all that with much less human overhead costs. And I think this is at the forefront of this industrial revolution that we're seeing right now. Actually, in every industrial revolution, when you look at the 19th century, the steam engine, it's not just about producing more and creating more revenue, it's doing all that more efficiently. And I think this is basically the core idea of this AI agentic movement, that we can do all these things way more efficiently than before. And this is really important because I think in marketing, we are drowning right now with too many complex tools everywhere. I mean, if you're a marketer, you started out probably in university, you wanted to go into the field to work on products, on marketing, on promotion, packaging, placement, and now you're in this new world where you have to deal with Google Ads, Meta Ads, Shopify, APIs, you become an engineer, a data analyst, and mainly you have to be a technician nowadays. And this is pretty much far off from the idea of what we wanted to do. And one example of this is email marketing and customer relationship management. I think there's only a few tools where you have so much technical complexity in one place. I mean, in regards to email marketing, we have to build countless manual segments. So we have to put all our customers into generic groups, kind of, and then we need to build never-ending workflows. So we need to automate our business strategies, basically. Let's say if someone leaves something in a basket, you have an automation for this. If someone, purchased something and you want to recommend products, you have an automation for this. And you're constantly adjusting these automations. They get quite complex. And lastly, you have to maintain your email templates. So you have thousands of email templates, a lot of moving parts, and really making it one-on-one, like exactly how it is, like in the experience with the chatbot, it's really difficult. Still really, really generic. And this is only the technical side of the tool, right? I mean, from a human perspective, we also need a few roles to basically do really, really good customer relationship management. First of all, you need a strategist in the team, someone who really understands the shop and the business, the products, and can actually come up with the relevant strategies for your customer relationship management. And then you need an analyst, so someone who is really understanding of statistics, of data science, of data analysis, can basically work with product data, with customer data. And then you need someone who executes basically these designs or strategies and forms of design. So you have a designer in place. And lastly, someone who brings all this together in this technical mess that we've seen here before, a technician. And this gets really, really expensive, right? So if you're doing this in-house, we're talking about at least 2 full-time people. Maybe you have a unicorn, someone who can do everything, like Leonardo da Vinci. Then you can maybe do it with one person. Or you hire an agency, which is great. But still, you obviously want to be more efficient as a shop. And as an agency, you want to basically get more clients. You're also basically, you can only onboard so many clients as an agency if you're doing email marketing as you have people. And this can change now with this AI revolution that we're seeing. And today I want to introduce you to Avis. And Avis is basically trying to combine all these roles in an AI agentic employee. And she's actually the very first AI CRM manager for e-commerce that is available. We see other platforms that are emerging in startups, but they're only basically focusing on one part of the customer value chain. So it's either reasoning about when to send the email or designing the email. And what makes Avis special is that she's combining all these 4 roles, right? She is basically someone you can onboard quite quickly. You basically install the plugin, and we get all the customer data. And then you can talk to her and explain the brand and design. And this is more than just defining your colors. It's really talking about the values of your company, what you're selling, what makes your business special. And this is really, really important in the tonality that actually Avis will use in the email marketing. And she becomes also the strategist. So what we did is, we used to be in the past actually data scientists with a focus of customer relationship management in e-commerce. So we equipped the multi-agent system that we have built with all the CRM knowledge that we have. So she's equipped with all the CRM skills that you need in e-commerce. So reminding customer to refill on products, cross-selling, promoting new products that are curated specifically for every individual customer, and also, inspiring customers on a weekly basis with hand-picked product recommendations. And what makes her really special, and I think different in comparison to all the email tools out there, is she has a tremendous product intelligence. I think this is something that Google talked about as well, and I will touch upon in the end. One of the key takeaways I recommend everyone to do is product data will be tremendously important in the age of AI, because all the reasoning that is happening in the LLMs and all the hyper-personalization that we are doing is mainly based on product semantics. So Avis basically understands a product. She knows, okay, this is vitamin B12. This is mainly used by vegans as a supplementary diet, so she understands the target group already. And she can also assess, based on the product descriptions or her general intelligence, what the consumption rate of such a product is, and what all the other products are that are short-term interesting, so other vitamins maybe, to basically complement all your dietary needs, and also long-term recommendations that make sense for this customer. And what makes Avis also special is marrying all that intelligence basically with the design side. So we don't want the user to basically go in and drag and drop in the email builder. What we've done is we've created an entire design system that is AI native. So this design system is mainly focused on e-commerce and has all the things that you need to basically sell online. And behind every module, there's basically an intelligence. So the LLM understands exactly this module is used to showcase 3 products. This module is used to basically explain the features of the product. And that way you can basically create hyper-personalized emails on scale that are as beautiful as a designer would basically design them. And lastly, she becomes a technician, so she executes all these emails for you. You're doing basically nothing. And I think what is the most interesting thing here is that she can learn from the feedback. So based on clicking behavior, we basically understand that her reasoning was right, and we can iterate and improve her actions. And this gives our clients and also the agencies we work with a new freedom that hasn't been seen before. I mean, for e-commerce companies, it's 80% less time spent in any email marketing tool. For agencies, it's basically tripling, or in some cases, quadrupling the amount of clients they can onboard per account manager. And also the saved costs on average that we're seeing. We've calculated this with our clients. It's looking at the cost they invested into, the human labor. It's around $100,000 a year that can be invested somewhere else. But obviously, we also want to talk a bit about more email revenue, because that's also important and really significant. And for that, I want to dive into a case study. And I want to talk about Greenest. I mean, we're a German company, so this is a German online shop, but they're quite well known in Germany, at least. They're one of the bigger supplement stores that are available. And for them, one of the most important skills is to remind the customer at the right time to refill a product. So let's say you purchase vitamin C and you're using it and you're about to finish your bottle, and exactly in that moment you get an email that says, hey, your bottle is almost empty, it's time to refill your vitamin C. This sounds really simple, and we can do this maybe with traditional tools first to understand basically the use case even more. So let's look at this product here. This is straight from the online shop of Greenest. It's some kind of vitamin C with enzymes. And what we can do now as a marketer in the email tool, we can go ahead and basically build a flow. We can build a segment, a person who has purchased this particular product. We have a human that basically estimates the consumption period. So we see as a human it's 100 units. Okay, we can say 100 days. And then we have a checkup filter that basically checks after 100 days, did the person purchase again? If not, send out the email. Well, that's all nice, but now do that for 375 categories and 3,125 products. That's impossible. It's not going to work. And we see this most of these shops, and they're huge shops, they do millions of revenue annually, they cannot pull this off, and this is one of the most important strategies they have. And basically a flow like this, you could not maintain it, you could not build it. And now I want to show you basically how Avis is doing it using her multiple LLMs to basically reason through that problem and scale it through to the entire shop. So Avis is not only replacing the tool, but also the marketer in this case. So the first thing, or the most complicated task, is actually to assess the volume of the product. This sounds quite simple because, yeah, it says 100 capsules, but there are also a lot of volume information that you'll have with this product. It will have basically the milligrams per pill, you will have the package sizing, and there will be a lot of hallucinations happening actually. So nailing this is quite of a difficult task. And what Avis can do is she can basically hop into the shop, look at every product, and exactly knows the volume of a product, which is really, really valuable to basically assess the consumption time next. So you don't have to filter anything, you don't have to build any segments. She knows this product has 100 capsules. And then she can go ahead. She basically is fed with all that proprietary data that we have, so she knows general consumption times of these vitamins, but you can tweak it. And this is where basically, what Google also said is the better your product descriptions are, the smarter the system gets. So we are lucky that Greenest is actually quite well equipped with people who are building these product descriptions, and they actually talk about the daily portion just for this product, which happens to be 2 capsules. And Avis is immediately understanding that the consumption behavior for this particular product is actually double the rate. It's not 1 pill per day, it's 2 pills per day. And then she can basically extrapolate, and she's doing that not on a segment basis, but she's doing that on a customer basis, which is really important. So she goes ahead and sees, okay, this is Leah. Leah purchased 2 bottles of this vitamin, or this particular product, and now I can do the arithmetic and the calculation just for this customer to estimate that the reminder needs to be sent out in 100 days. And now we can scale this to pretty much any product, any customer, and then generate a one-of-a-kind email. So this email is just particularly for Leah, with all the headlines and body texts and all the design just made for this customer, with a copy that is really trying to sell this product, which is vitamin C. It's all about the immune system and not just a generic email as a, hey, refill your email, right? So you want to take this ChatGPT AI communication experience into your email marketing, and this is exactly what is happening here. And like I said, we can do this for every product and each customer, and not only for this skill, but across any skill you can imagine in email marketing. And particularly for Greenest, we saw an uptick in email revenue by almost 74%. So it's a tremendous increase just by switching to hyper-personalization. And 13 times higher email revenue, so revenue per email. And with just this one skill, they generated in 3 months 41K in revenue. And this is a huge portion of the email revenue they actually generate. So this is revenue they didn't have before that is now available just because of AI or agentic email marketing. And this brings me to the last 3 steps that I would share with you is to consider 3 things. The first thing, I think, is assess not only your revenue, but your revenue per capita. So this is exactly the revolution that we're seeing in the agentic world is we can do a lot of things with less people. Look at Lovable. Everybody knows probably the unicorn that went from 1 million to 100 million annual recurring revenue with only 60 people. This is nuts. Nobody didn't thought that this will be happening. And I think this is also, as an agency or an e-commerce shop, a calculation that you should make. Like every euro that I'm converting, distributed on all the employees that I'm having, how much is it? This is the new KPI that actually will define your business and the long-term success of your business. So in case of an agency, that means basically getting more customers per account manager and scaling basically the cases that you have. The second one is product data, and I think I mentioned it a couple of times now, it's obvious. We're seeing that with a lot of e-commerce shops, even bigger ones, only have rudimentary product descriptions. Obviously that still works, but if you want to have like really high quality email marketing, high quality email AI search results, it's all about having really, really good product semantics. So invest in that. And I think the last one might not even apply to the Dutch audience, but it applies really to the German audience. So what we see in Germany is people are really hesitant to test new tools, and they want to find this right tool, and they do thousands of assessments before because they actually take action. And I think we should have more of an American mentality here. And what they do is basically they get things really fast, they sign things really fast, but they cancel it also really fast. So iterating through the tools really quickly, not thinking too much. Most tools you can cancel immediately. There's no minimum amount of months that you need to spend there. So get as many experience as possible, test out things, and act and not obsess. But maybe this is not a Dutch problem, so I don't know. Anyways, if you want to know more about Birdsview, if you want to expand your portfolio of services, maybe also doing email marketing, we are happy to chat in regards to partnerships. We have a partnership program. You can visit us on birdsview.com or also talk to us later at the cafe restaurant, and we can talk about AI agentic email marketing. Thank you.
Wow, Ozan, thanks again. Before you leave the stage, I'm sure there are some questions after this interesting talk. First up, yeah.
Yeah, thank you for the talk. I have a question regarding the deliverability of all those emails. Obviously, we run multiple e-commerce clients that always use EMS platforms to get more revenue. How does it not become too spammy? Obviously, multiple tools run into those struggles with delivering the emails right. How does Avis tackle that?
Are you talking about the email orchestration in regards to the skills, sending out the emails, or generally talking about deliverability in terms of the email clients that we're using? Like, is it a technical question in regards to?
Yeah, it's more technical because like when you see MailChimp, it's very drag and drop and very easy to set up. But the deliverability of those emails are really bad. They struggle with it. So do multiple platforms. How do you guys tackle this? Because obviously, if you can create faster and more relevant, and if a lot of major companies do this, obviously there's going to be a lot more emails to get through.
Get through, like the technical part, you mean? So sometimes it's delivered and it's not entering your inbox. And if Avis is capable of just passing that hurdle, maybe, yeah.
I mean, two things. The first thing that we're experiencing is actually that we're trying to reduce the email volume per client, because when we go to a customer, we're seeing that they're basically sending out campaigns on a daily basis, and they're basically spamming their customers with generic emails. And then they're basically introduce AI, and Avis starts also sending emails out, and then we see exactly that effect that we're sending way too many emails. So the first thing is basically educating the customer to reduce the generic campaigns and basically take the AI over. Because what Avis does is basically designing a customer journey and basically also understanding holistically what emails did I send out. So every skill is basically interconnected. So for example, we have one skill that is constantly scanning discounts that were sent out and assessing, did the customer actually use this discount? Was he reminded already before? If not, the email sent out. So it's holistically basically understanding all the emails that were sent out to optimize this. Another example is the refill skill that I've just shown you. Sometimes you might buy vitamin C, but you also buy protein powder. And they might be due in the same day. And a generic email tool would send you 2 emails. What we are doing is we're understanding in the next 7 days, there will be 2 emails sent out. And what we do is we compile them in one email to make it basically more efficient. So this is basically what makes this agentic approach, which is on a customer level, way more balanced and basically orchestrating the messaging across the week or across the month, what you want to say, by compiling and basically making things less redundant. I don't know if that is explaining.
Yeah, I think that's about the amount of emails, and then again, it's about how do the emails get received by a client, and it's all due to different policies, of course, and different settings and mail systems the user has. Do you struggle with the same things that other CRM systems do as well by, well, the delivery rate, or is it?
I mean, in the end, we are all bound to the same email sending systems, right? We are also using AWS, SES. We have obviously our systems in place to warm up an account. So basically you have a health monitor that is at the right top of the shop that is basically showing you how much spam you're having, what the rate or the health of your shop is, of your email channel. We have a warming up period, so we iteratively basically start with smaller volumes and increase. But these are really standardized things that we see in the industry. What we are trying to do is basically increase or decrease the redundancy and have more impact with fewer emails basically to send out. And this is basically our approach to deliver emails that are basically more impactful for the customer. Does that explain or answer your question?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay. Yes.
Next there, yeah.
What kind of testing capabilities do you have, or Avis has? And what's the lag time between sending out a test batch on split testing of subject line and follow up with the analysis of that test batch sent out to big batch?
Yeah. So
what's that latency time?
it really depends on the skill. So we have certain things that are adjusted quite quickly, like the copies, for example. Let's say you want to adjust the style of the communication as a user. So you have a human in the loop that is basically saying, okay, I've seen the emails and I just don't like the tonality. For example, in regards to abandoned cart emails, I want to create more FOMO, fear of missing out. This is something that you can adjust quite quickly. So you can just go ahead and basically prompt Avis to change the communication style, and she adjusts across the entire product stack. Things that take a bit longer because they need basically statistical significance is things like refill reasoning. So what we do is basically we behind every product and every industry we have a protocol assessed across many shops, and for example all vitamin shops, what the right timing is to send to consume a vitamin C. And sometimes we see that then these numbers change because we are realizing, okay, the consumption time is across shops way faster. And this takes sometimes a few weeks to basically adjust because you're using many shops, the intelligence of many shops to basically improve this. Does that make sense? Or
I mean, if you run an e-commerce shop and in Q4 you have daily promo discounts. So what you would like to do is a split test in the morning, which subject line has a higher open rate, and you follow up on the big batch and with that winner. So the turnaround time of the analysis needs to be a couple of hours. And preferably you have that done automatically, but then you're also running a flash sale for an hour, which you would need to have another email lined up. So do you have that capability of the short-term latency, depending on, of course, statistical significance of the split test?
Yeah, so this is like a really specific thing. For this, we have basically a different skill that is basically custom campaigns that you can do. So you can basically go ahead and segment your customers and test out things automatically and basically evaluate and then adjust. Because this is really specific, right? So I think what we are referring to in terms of learning is understanding, okay, for this product I tried these cross-sells, they worked, so I adjust basically my cross-sell intelligence for this product. This is basically something that is happening automatically. Or I have analyzed the interest of the customer that is most recent. There are new products launching. I want to curate these new products for this particular customer. And I'm realizing, okay, with these interests, I'm really tickling this particular customer. I'm going more deeper on that interest. These are things that she is doing on her own. But what you're describing is something that is, I think, really in kind of a really specific case that you can basically do with custom campaigns that is also available in the tool. Yeah.
So luckily, there's some human input instead of Avis doing everything, because it might sound a bit scary, right, for marketeers.
I mean, it's like I said, it's 80%, and I think it's switching a bit the role of the marketeer, right? So you need to think more about these really specific campaigns that the colleague mentioned. So having more time for these really specific business-related use cases and basically letting Avis take over the redundant machine and improving basically these redundant tasks. So more time for these specifics, I would say. Yeah.
Great.
Yes.
I did see, was there some question here before? No, okay. I have to choose one, guys. I'll go for you, yeah? Next we'll have the discussion further, of course, in coffee breaks. And yeah.
Thank you. I was wondering, how do you collect your data? Do you connect to like ERPs, CRMs, CDPs, or do you have like this own CDP in place where Avis is tracking the profiles themselves, creating segments, etc.?
Yes, so we are basically integrating with the online shop immediately. So we have a Shopify integration, for example. We're getting all the data. We have customer data coming in and product data and all these other CRM information that most shops actually have in one place. So in the beginning, we were thinking of, okay, creating a lot of integrations for different parts, but we realized that everything is actually channeled in the online shop. So the source of truth is becoming basically the online shop, and then we're pulling all the data, and then we're generating our own intelligence layers based on that data. So you can imagine that Avis is fragmented in different data compartments, and for product, she has basically she's generating its own product intelligence data. So she's enriching the data that is available in the online shop. So it's not just the product description anymore, but understanding, okay, this is how I sell the product in regards to refill reminders. This is how I sell the product in regards to cross-sells. This is the consumption time that I assess based on my intelligence. These are the cross-sells that are relevant. These are long-term products that would fit. So we're basically enriching the entire input raw shop data that we're getting. And that way you can also onboard customers really fast. So you don't have like this entire, you have to first get your ERP ready, and then you get your shop, and then you maybe you have also a CDP. And most companies we work with are mid-sized online shops. So they have a lot of products, like thousands of products, but they are maybe 20, 30 people. So, and their tech stack is, they don't have like all these dedicated tools for this, and they basically compile it all on the online shop. And this is where we can iterate really fast and onboard customers really efficiently, actually. This is basically our approach right now, yeah.
In this upper market, you see that it's more separated, so that the enriched data is in the CDP instead of just in the shop itself. Would you say it would be less of a fit to use this type of tooling than for these type of shops?
I'd be interested to see what data would be in the CDP that would improve the system that we don't get from the shop, to be honest. Because, like I said, everything that we are doing and all the use cases that I've shown, they're all based on product images and descriptions and rudimentary customer data. So the question is, what is in the CDP?
Pre-purchase data, or maybe even offline data? If they
Offline data is interesting. So this is basically, I think, one spot where it really makes sense to connect, because obviously this data is not available in the online shop. So this is something that is, for example, a use case where CDP makes a lot of sense, yes. But the data would be the same again, right? It's again the purchase data from from offline shops, and also the products that were purchased and their descriptions. So it's not like that in the CDP there is some magical data right now that we can think of that we are not having access to right now. So, but we're planning to expand. I mean, we're an emerging company, so we're starting with a go-to-market strategy that is really focusing quite narrowly on a certain ideal customer profile. But obviously, we are getting more and more enterprise customers who get interested, and they come with offline data, for example. And for that, we need to build custom tools. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Great potential and great presentation. So let's give a warm applause for Ozan.